right, let's move on. All right, so you Laker fan. Everybody love Kobe. Kobe's, to me, one of the top 3 players of all time. I just love him. Easy.
Yes.
So Kobe knows what he's talking about when he's talking about basketball, right?
Okay.
Kobe said, no, maybe Odin already heard these comments. Because he said there are some lady ballers, women, who are now actually ready to compete in the NBA, the National Basketball Association, with the men. I'm not going to let you start. I'm going to let the ladies start. Go ahead, Lauren.
Well, you know, I hate when players want to compare, or just people in general. The WNBA is its own league. It has its own players and its own stars. It's been around for 24 years, and they've established themselves all their own, obviously with the help of the NBA. But if I had to choose and say these players I could see, you know, making at least a little splash in the NBA. He mentioned Maya Moore, who's not going to be playing this upcoming year for the 2nd year in a row, Diana Taurasi, and Elena Delle Donne. Those are some ballers.
Yeah.
So,
especially
you know, Elena, you know, I mean, these are players that, you know, have won championships, both here, overseas, that have had MVPs, but I would just never compare a WNBA player to an NBA player.
So you're saying the WNBA, they're not ready for the NBA. In your opinion, as a lady, they're not ready for the NBA. You can't see them actually competing and playing in the NBA.
No.
Okay.
I couldn't, yeah.
Oh, you played, you know. Break it down.
I love Kobe.
You love women.
But I love women.
Okay, just make it.
We'll start there.
I love going to Atlanta because there's more choices. Okay.
What do you mean by that?
I'm making that point so you know where I'm coming from. I love going to Atlanta because I don't have competition. Okay.
I don't get it.
I love women.
Okay.
Bring it back in now.
Because I don't know if you were trying to insinuate something or not, so I just wanted to be clear about it.
No. I'm just saying that you're not going to say anything negative against women.
I'm not going to say anything negative about women. I love them. I've worked for the WNBA. I used to do color commentary when the inaugural season. I trained them. I love them. I have daughters. With that being said, Kobe lost his damn mind. The physicality alone is all I'm going to talk about. They can't handle that.
What about the guards? Can the guards compete?
They cannot handle the physicality.
Okay.
That's the key, and that's why it's not going to happen. Skill set, yes, there's Diana, Maya, Elena. Yeah, skill set, there's a bunch of bums in the league. You know, even though they're NBA players, I call them bums because they don't measure up. Yes, a couple of them, they are better than them. But at the end of the day, the physicality is what's going to, set everything apart.
Right.
They just can't do it.
Yeah.
I agree.
And, you know, Odin posting up a woman, then they get to arguing back and forth with each other. That would just
How do I
look
defend
crazy.
her? You know
what I'm saying?
If I put my hand, I get
you can't hand check.
I get a lawsuit. What's going on?
I mean, but like a guard running off screens like Steph Curry does, or
now
like
you know
Klay
I used to set picks.
I know.
I used to lay them out.
That's what I'm saying. You set picks for her. She's running around and she just catch.
What am I gonna do?
Right.
I don't want to hurt you. No, I'm gonna lay
talking about
lay your ass out.
I'm not saying it. I think it's kind of disrespectful because the 450 guys that do play in the NBA, they're the best of the best. So,
absolutely.
And I'm not saying that women aren't great because they are wonderful at what they do, and I love watching the WNBA. But like you said, the physicality of the NBA, the speed of the game is just another
Can I ask
level.
you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Does Kobe have another book coming out?
Yeah, I think he got something that's
I think he was looking for bait clicks or some shit.
My goodness, that's a bad. That was a bad take.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to those women; they are great players,
And
but
just,
that's a bad.
And just because Kobe said it doesn't mean it's gold either. You know, I mean, because he's an all-time great. Yes, his word carries a lot of weight, but going up to physicality, come on, man.
That's
I mean,
all.
yes, they don't hand check anymore, and yes, it's a softer NBA than when he was first coming into the league.
Not softer.
It's not soft enough for women to come and play.
It's not softer. It is different.
In terms of how they call the game,
it has evolved.
Evolved into softer.
It is softer from the 80s.
It has evolved.
Yeah.
But what they did with the Knicks and the Bulls.
And all that was illegal.
I
They
mean,
were fouls.
What? The flagrant fouls.
But if you commit
in
the same foul today, you're suspended.
But the game
Rejected.
has to evolve.
Suspended. All of
The
those,
game
yeah.
has to evolve.
Right.
And I think we need to wrap our heads around that. The game, we cannot expect it to be like the 80s and 90s. Accept it for what it is and enjoy it. Or not.
Well, I agree. I agree. All
older.
right. So, I mean, because Kobe's got 2 daughters who are beautiful young ladies that are actually, I think one of them's about to go to
got 3
Connecticut.
daughters.
He's got
right?
3. Yeah, he's got 3
He's
daughters.
got all daughters.
He's got all
He can't
daughters
make
and
a
his
boy.
wife.
Yeah.
So Kobe trying to cater to the ladies. I understand that. That's, go ahead, Kobe.
Nothing wrong with that.
I like that.
You know your baby.
I know every time he goes in his wife, he's like, boy.
I don't think he's doing that while he's trying to make a boy, though.
He needs to.
I think it's something else
It's
he's
nothing
doing.
but girls.
Like, this ain't crossed.
You know what they say? It's different positions you have to do to make a boy, and he ain't doing the right position.
Really?
How many
Yes.
boys you got?
We ain't gonna talk about that. I got more boys than I have girls.
So what did you do differently? How did you make the boys then?
It was just incredible. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's what they said. Bro, it was incredible.
Right, I'm like, okay, so how do you replicate that? That's incredible.
I need you
I
to
got 3
get on your
girls, 2
neck.
boys. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing.
Turn your elbow to the side. Okay, anyway.
Underwear, right? Underwear, boxers and briefs and stuff like that. They said that makes a
Man,
difference.
I don't want to know about this man draws. I don't care what kind of draws
No, I'm
he
saying
got
that
on.
they say that makes a
We
difference.
manly up here, Mike.
No, bro, I don't want to know about your draws,
Speak for
dog.
yourself.
You don't know about your draws. As long as you got, anyway.
Okay.
Boxing, right? Floyd Mayweather, right?
My man.
Still retired, might come out of retirement. Y'all saw Conor McGregor just won his UFC comeback,
Right.
you know, looking good. Remember they had a fight, a boxing match.
Yes.
They're talking about doing it again.
And I hope Floyd.
That's what I was going to ask you. They want to do it again.
And we gonna pay
And they're
for
going to charge you $70, $80, $90 for you to actually watch
They ain't
this.
charging me.
You know we
They
gonna
might.
pay.
You pay for it, Donny?
Oh yes, sir. I'm a Floyd Mayweather fan. I want him to see him whoop his ass again because I can't stand Conor McGregor. He talk too much shit and he think he tough and he just got that. Oh, I just can't stand it. I want to see Floyd whoop
But
his
he'd
ass.
already
shit,
done
you
it.
think
Yeah, but
He's
he's
already
done
done
it.
it. Like, why do you want to see it again?
But
It didn't happen.
It's different. My toughness, his toughness is it's an arrogant toughness. You know what I'm saying? Like he just whoop everybody, and then you know it's black and white. Anytime it's a black and white fight, we're gonna pay for it because we get racial. Oh, I want him to whoop that white boy ass. Oh yeah, it becomes racial.
There's a
And
lot
we
of
know
black
it.
people that want to see Floyd get his ass whooped
That's
too.
my man. Get that money.
I agree. I love Floyd.
I think the most people that want to see this fight is Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. I mean, what Floyd made over $100 million.
Some money grab.
Don't cheat my man with money. $300 million.
$300 million. I mean, okay, rack it up.
I was about
But,
to say
that is over, $100 million. But, I mean, I think that that's just a money grab that people are going to pay for. Their fans are both going to show up to listen to, or watch that fight. I mean.
But y'all know the fight ain't going to be good, so why you going to pay that much money to watch?
That's where I'm
They're
with it.
rarely
That's right.
I'm not paying for it.
Huh?
I'm not
It was
paying for
good,
it,
but
bro.
why do you want to see the same thing happen? You talking about he talked trash and this, that, and the other, but he'd already shut him up.
I love
You ain't got to
entertainment.
shut him up again.
I just love boxing. I love Floyd.
But it's a boxing match. He's fighting a UFC guy that doesn't really know how to box like that.
How about a Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence fight? Like, let's do something like that.
But, people don't know who they are. It ain't about the hype. You know, I ain't
Then
paying for
again,
it.
he might be ready this second time around.
Yeah.
I'm going to get me
ready to lay down.
I'm gonna get me an illegal fire stick. That's what I'm gonna do right there. I'm gonna get it on Periscope while everybody else watching it. I'm gonna watch their Periscope or watch it on Twitter when the shit is over. That's what we do. That's how I watched the Conor McGregor fight.
Absolutely.
It was a 40-second fight. I waited till that damn fight ended.
Yeah.
I went on Twitter. I went to the video section and somebody was on their TV taping it. And I was like, I watched the whole fight a minute after it was over.
You can do
And it
that
saved
for
me
40
$80.
seconds. Yes.
Man, I got 2 kids in college. I ain't got no damn. Trying to pay that kind
And
of
a
money,
wedding
man.
to pay for.
I'm very cheap because I ain't got that kind of money like the West Side Fly guy.
Floyd should make it free for everybody. How about that?
No,
No,
Floyd
they
bought his
gonna
money.
do that.
Floyd bought his money.
All right,
not gonna
then.
do
He's
that.
not willing to do that, so why are you willing to give him $80?
Well, you're gonna rush to the pay-per-view expeditiously. That's T.I. The expeditiously podcast. He recently had Mike Tyson on. Speaking of boxers, and Mike revealed something about his kids. he said that his kids don't really associate. I want to make sure I get it right because this is Mike Tyson. I don't just want to get mad at me.
No.
So get it right. He said that his kids are dating non-black people, and he feels like he's set a bad example as a black man. So Mike Tyson feels like because his kids only associate with other people outside their race and won't date black kids, he feels like it's because of the things that he did growing up or whatever.
No, it's not. It's where we place our kids. All of us have gone through that. All former athletes, all current athletes, because we live in those neighborhoods.
Thank you.
And that's all they see.
Yes.
My kids date outside their race because that's all we've had. I was raising my kids in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh,
Ain't
damn.
too many of us up there.
Shit.
And so they
Are
go to
any?
school with white kids.
Except the Jazz?
Yeah, I mean, so that's what they see.
Yeah, I agree
you
with
know,
Oda.
You
I
take
agree
your
with
kids up to Calabasas or wherever else, that's all that's around there.
Yeah, because all my kids.
It's nothing about being a good parent. You're a good or bad parent based on what your kids do. Like if they shooting up a place and stuff like that, that's when you start judging, but not by who they date.
But he said it wasn't just about who they dated. It's like they don't like black people.
That's their kid. That's his.
that's
Well,
his
that's
fault.
on
I mean,
them.
but I'm like, you know, I ain't gonna tell Mike how to raise his kids, anything like that. But they might need to get a little help. I mean, because if you're not proud of who you are
Yeah,
and your
crazy.
skin, that's
That's on them. That's
an
some
issue
other
that you need to go
stuff.
get some counseling for, right, Lauren?
Absolutely. I think that that's a direct reflection on parenting. If your kids don't like their own race or associate with their own race, I went to Campbell Hall, which was a private school in North Hollywood, but I lived in Leimert Park.
That was
so
a rich private school.
Very, very affluent.
it's like
Yes.
40,000.
Yes. Thank you, Mom. Yes. But, you know, I think that the important part about this is that he's at least conscious of it, and there's opportunity to change the reality of their kids right now. You know, I think just exposure is one of the biggest things. You have to bring them around their family. You have to bring them around their cousins, get to know them. You know what I mean? I mean, it's important.
Hey,
right?
some of your cousins and family, you don't want to bring your
maybe
kids
not,
around.
maybe not.
Or just give them a taste of it.
I did that.
Yeah, just a little taste.
I
Just
took
a
my
little
kids
taste.
one time to a friend's house in Inglewood.
Oh.
My son come running crying to me. He called me a nigger.
Well, that's not just black kids.
It's with an A.
I think we kind of see it.
How did you really respond to your
I
kids?
did. I said, no, he's not calling you ER. He's calling you like my nigga. You my nigga. You know, and I had to break it down like that's, you know, that's us. That's, you know, how it is. I mean, I had to literally like, come here, son.
Yeah.
And just hold him. I'm like, dude, he's not saying it like that. You know, that's just, you know, the words that is used.
Right, in a certain
and he was
neighborhoods. Just wasn't
traumatized,
used to it.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's generational recycling here because you have to look at how Mike Tyson grew up. You know, he was
Brownsville.
brought in by some old white dude that at the age of 13, 14. So he never got a chance to really experience being black himself.
Oh, he did in Brownsville before, because he used to go
yes.
back.
But
That's
I'm
the
just
reason he
saying,
had to go to
but
Customato.
after he was removed to Catskill or whatever,
Yep.
and then, you know, growing up with the pigeons and all that stuff, we know his story, then you get removed from that culture. And he didn't have the same experience as an 18-year-old black kid. He was, as a prodigy by that point, on his way to becoming the youngest heavyweight champion of the world.
Right.
So it's hard for him to kind of teach those things if they really wasn't instilled in him.
Right. Well, you know, I'm all for if your kids only want to date white kids or non-black kids. I have no problem with that. You know, like my oldest, she's only dated, like she dates pretty boys for whatever reason. I'm a little pretty, you know, pretty motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Like you, pretty
Ricky.
motherfucker.
Well, if you consider that, I mean, I'm like, you know, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that, brother.
Because you always call yourself pretty, so I'm just saying.
I didn't say I was. Did I say I was pretty?
On prior shows.
I've never said I
Run the
was
tape.
pretty.
Oh, we gonna
I
go
would
over the
never
tape.
refer to myself as pretty.
You said
Please
handsome or
don't,
something.
Mike.
Something you said.
I'm far from ugly. I'll just say that. I don't think I'm ugly. Y'all, I don't think I'm ugly, dude. Am I ugly? Okay.
Come on, you
Mike,
can't
that's-
answer. Yeah. You ugly, man.
But back to my point. So my oldest, but my youngest, she hasn't really had that boyfriend yet, but she grew up around nothing but like white people. She was only one of like 2 or 3 black kids in her school, like your kids or whatever. And now she grows up and she's just a different person. You can tell, like her speech, Dad, Dad, you know, I did this in school today, Dad. You know, it's just like that. She even sounds like that. It's just different. You know what I mean? But I still love her the same. There's no different. But I just don't. It's a difference if she didn't know who she was and didn't love who she was in the skin that she wears. And I think that's the issue. And I think Mike, who's a big believer in getting counseling and getting help, I think that's where he needs to go. And once again,
With
not
the
telling you what to do with your
therapist.
kids, Mike.
Exactly.
Or send them to a black school.
Yeah, but that's kind of you want your kids to black school.
Oh, here when you say, oh no, why not a black school?
Why go
What's
to
wrong with hold on, what's wrong with a black school?
There's nothing wrong with a black school, but I'm saying it's like you go to a school where you can get the best education. Not saying you can't get a great education at a black school. Hold up before you say that. I'm just saying like there is no need for you to take her in from a totally white school into an all black school. Now an integrated, a diverse school, that's great. Okay. But you ain't got to just throw her in the hood. Like you got to take her from where Ole is. Would you put your kid in the Inglewood school if you could afford somewhere else? The great education.
Hold on, Mike. Hey, some of my partners went to Dorsey High School, and they are senators. They are congressmen.
Yes.
So you can go to Dorsey High School in the hood if you want to get out and you want that education. You can get an education anywhere.
Exactly.
It's up to your
That's
parenting.
a great point.
It's up to your parenting.
But we were not living in those areas.
But I'm just saying, man, I don't appreciate people saying, no, you can't go to no hood school.
No.
My friends that went to Crenshaw High School went to MIT and Yale and
Wait
Penn
a minute. Don't think I don't like black people. I went to a black high school.
I grew up in Harlem, so.
Let me say for the record.
You just said not a black school.
I said, no, don't take your kid out of the school that they're in just to make a point to make them black and make them adapt.
What you're saying.
I think that's
you can't just do that. That's almost. Would
It's a
you
disservice.
But
seriously?
that's the double-edged sword
Would you do that?
you
But see,
live, though, because
my kids grew up in the valley. So
in the valley. So would you take them? It's like, you know what? I'm gonna teach you a lesson. You ain't black enough. You ain't black enough. Let me take you down to Dorsey right now and just enroll you in school.
I did that all. I took them down to the hood, let them see their roots.
You can see the roots. I'm talking about going to school.
Like Disneyland on a visit. Yes.
Disneyland. Let's take a field trip.